You understand? Why is Christ talking about I will give you rest? Because we are not resting in America. We never have a time for ourselves in America. America works the black man, the Latino man, and the Native American man to his blood, sweat, and tears. They work us to the damn bone.
One Westworld. Right.
Everything is lawful. One Westworld.
The pressure on. I remember bringing nothing home. Make it little just to make it known. Steady, ready, better watch your tone. When I was 5'7", I was breaking bone. 5'7", now I want the chrome. 9'11", I was in my zone. Lose the argument or lose your dome. Keep cool, ain't no running up. How damn, now I'm coming up. They coming to kiss me, you dumb or what? You drawing, you done enough. They told me don't rush it, just wait my time. Paying attention, I see the signs. Coming right to me like Amazon. No time for distractions, I'm on the grind. Little shorty is sick and she knows she fine. Got a couple of so never mind. They throwing the shade cause they know I shine. Reason I'm going in overtime. You stuck in your ways, you keep fantasizing. I just go get it, don't think about it. Don't make it an issue, it ain't a problem. Not too much talking, just organizing. One Westworld, no way around it. Heavy so you know I'm grounded. Too sturdy, I'm well rounded. Tunnel vision, I don't see a challenge.
The Lord wants us to understand something here, right? The Lord wants us to understand in Matthew chapter 11 verse 28, man, like Christ is going to bring something out heavy. You understand? And if you are so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American, please pay attention. You understand? If you're an oppressor, go ahead and listen if you want to. You understand? You need to know this information too, because this is going to be the downfall of your kingdom, the downfall of your nation. You understand? Go ahead, give me Matthew chapter 11 verse 28.
Matthew chapter 11 verse 28. Come unto me.
Said what?
Come unto me.
Christ is saying, come unto me, man. Why is Christ telling us to come unto him? You understand? Like, that's the question you need to be asking, black man. That's the question you need to be asking, Hispanic man, Latino man, and Native American man. Why is Christ, a black man, right, named Yahushua Mashiach, telling you to come unto him? You understand? If you are so-called Latino, if you are so-called Nativo Americano, if you are Iroquois, if you are the part of the Navajo and the Somerset and the Quantico, the same blood that runs through the veins of Jesus Christ runs through you. You understand? The same blood that runs through Jesus Christ, the Yahushua Mashiach, a black man, runs through you, Native American and Latino. I pray that you understand. Why is Christ saying, come unto me? Go ahead.
All ye that labor and are heavy. All ye that labor.
That what?
All ye that labor.
All ye that labor. Slow it down a little bit. You understand? You understand? You want to be slow with it. All ye that labor. What does it mean, all ye that labor? Like, there's a labor that there's a work and a suffering and a job that comes with grief. There's a job that comes with grief and suffering. Well, guess what? It says come. It said what?
All ye that labor.
All what?
All ye that labor.
All what?
All ye that labor.
All ye that labor. You understand? Labor meaning to work with grief and suffering. Well, guess what? Black man, that's talking about you. Native American man, that's talking about you. You understand? Latino man, that's talking about you. Our oppressor doesn't know what it means, all right, to work with suffering and pain. Because he is working for his people. He is working for his nation, his country, his society. When he wants to become a police officer, he knows he's protecting his community. When he becomes a judicial advocate, he knows he or she is protecting his people. When they become a lawyer, when they become a judge, they know they are defending and protecting their community, their neighborhood, their economy. You understand? But when we become the judges, when we become the police officers, when we join the military, when we become the social workers, we work in grief and absolute suffering. We don't work towards our society. That's what constitutes you, black man, being a slave. That's what constitutes the Native Americans and the Latinos. That's what makes us and constitutes us as being a slave. We have to learn how to no longer be a slave. We have to now get out of the mindset and the mental capacity of not being a slave. Well, Christ is about to teach you. Go ahead.
And are heavy laden.
And what?
And are heavy laden.
What does it mean to be heavy laden? That's talking about burden. That's talking about burdens, pain, and suffering. Like blacks, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are the main ones. We are the majority of the ones who are suffering in America. Our oppressor is not suffering like how blacks and Latinos are suffering in America.
Right.
The Chinese are not suffering like how blacks and Latinos are suffering in America. The Koreans, the Vietnamese, the Africans, the East Indians are not suffering how the Latinos and the Nativo Americanos are suffering in America. We are the ones who are in pain. We are the ones who are burdens. You understand? We are the ones who encompass burdens. You understand? We're the ones who are suffering because of the things that we do as occupations. It said what? That's what a heavy laden is. Go.
And I will give you rest.
It said what?
And I will give you rest.
And I will give you rest. You understand? Why is Christ talking about I will give you rest? Because we are not resting in America. We never have a time for ourselves in America. America works the black man, the Latino man, and the Native American man to his blood, sweat, and tears. They work us to the damn bone. It said what?
And I will give you rest.
Like we need rest from America. You understand? We have to work 2 to 3 jobs just to survive. We have to work 24-hour, 12-hour, 15-hour shifts just to survive as black men and black women in America. The white man, our oppressor, doesn't have to do that. Bill Clinton doesn't have to do that. The Donald Trumps and the Joe Bidens don't have to do that. They don't have to work 15-hour shifts. Them people don't have to work 13-hour, 12-hour shifts. But Shaquita does. But Keisha does. So I remember, let me break something down, you understand? Maria does. Gonzalez does. Jose does. Pedro does. Garcia does. You understand? Like, we have to understand they work us to the bone. Our oppressor don't gotta work those shifts. Our sisters, man, our brilliant, educated black women, Latino women, Native American sisters, they are nothing but RNs in the community, meaning registered nurses. They're LPNs, CNAs, and nurses, and they're highly qualified, and they're registered and extremely intelligent. And even though they have a 4-year degree, a 6-year degree, an 8-year degree, they still have to work 2 jobs just to survive and pay off those student loans.
Right.
And be oppressed by the light bill, you understand? And by the gas bill, and by rent and car note and life insurance, car insurance, by the mortgage, by rent, you understand? By parking tickets and all kinds of things. They got a child care, like they are oppressed, you understand? Like no other nation or race of people have to work these long hours just to survive. Only but blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Go ahead.
Take my yoke.
Said what?
Take my yoke.
Christ said, take my yoke. Go ahead.
Upon you.
Go ahead.
And learn of me.
So the yoke is to learn of him, you understand? What is a yoke? A yoke is like a shackle, you understand? Like a cuff, you understand? And he wants you to take his yoke. A yoke is equivalent to something that burdens you, you understand? And this yoke, right, is not so much of a burden, you understand? This yoke is going to teach you something. This yoke is going to be a lesson to you. You understand? So if you are so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American, this yoke that Christ wants you to have is going to be a lesson. It's going to be a teaching. It's going to be something that you can use to your benefit. And I want you to pay attention. Go ahead.
For I am meek.
For what?
For I am meek.
Christ was meek. You understand? Christ wasn't rich. Christ wasn't proud. He wasn't full of pride. Christ was meek. He was poor and humble. You understand? That's who Jesus Christ was. Once again, a black man named Yahushua Mashiach. That's who Christ was. Go ahead.
And lowly in heart.
And what?
And lowly in heart.
And lowly in heart. Meaning he wasn't full of pride. He wasn't proud. You understand? He understood where he come from, man. Christ understood he was a black man that came out of Nazareth. You understand? He understood he was a black man that came out of Baltimore, or a black man that came out of Chicago, or a black man that came out of New Orleans, or a black man that came out of Harlem, or a black man that came out of Jersey City, or a black man that came out of Richmond. Christ was a black man that came out of Nazareth. He had a lowly heart. He knew what pains and suffering really is. He understood that his people, you understand? He was a what? He was a carpenter. He knew what it meant to work to the bone, the blood, and the tears of the Roman Empire. Right. No different than you, black man, that works to the bone, to the blood, and the tears of America. Christ understands your suffering. Christ understands your pain. He understands your laden. He understands your burdens. You go ahead.
And ye shall find rest.
Said what?
And ye shall find rest.
Said what?
And ye shall find rest.
And ye shall find rest, black man. Ye shall find rest, Latino man and Native American man. You're going to find rest in this yoke. You're going to find rest in this lesson. You understand? Go ahead.
Unto your soul.
Unto your what?
Unto your soul.
Unto you what?
Unto your soul.
This is going to be a part of your soul. Christ is going to teach you that the labor that you have to work for is going to be good for the soul. That he knows the pain and the suffering that you're going to have to deal with is going to be good for the soul. Like there's a pain and a suffering that you don't have to go through. But then there is a pain and a suffering that you are obligated to go through. And that's to work for your people. Our people need to be taught how to work for themselves. There was a time before integration, before black religious leaders like Martin Luther King that taught us to work for our oppressor. There was a time that we worked for ourselves. We established our own neighborhoods, our own cities, our own schools, our own businesses, our own universities. That's why there's something called an HBCU, and it's a difference between a PWI. That's why there's a difference. You understand? There's Ivy League schools. That's why there's a difference. You understand? Well, guess what, black man? We had Ivy League schools of our own, Latino man. We had Ivy League schools of our own, Native American man. Morehouse, Spelman, those were Ivy League black schools. What's that school in Hampton University? There we go, that's the one. Howard, Norfolk State University. You understand? You understand? The Bethune-Cookman. You understand? But FAMU, you understand? Morehouse, Spelman, say it again. Right, Norfolk University, you understand? Bethune-Cookman University, you understand? All of these universities, you understand? These were like Ivy, these were, Virginia State, right, BSU, like these were universities. Go ahead. Right, Captain Morgan, you understand? Like these were Ivy League schools. The so-called blacks, Latinos, and Americans, you understand? Like we created doctors from these schools. We created lawyers from these schools. We created engineers from these schools. We created scientists from this school. You understand? One of the smartest and most intelligent beings on the earth was a black woman. And she, you understand? And she was very smart. And if it wasn't for this black woman, our oppressor, America, would have never went to the moon. Because of a black woman. She was the first supercomputer. You understand? And she would have never made it to the moon if it wasn't for that black woman. You understand? Some of you oppressors, y'all women like Hillary Clinton's and Sarah Palin's, you don't even have a candle that stands close. Your candle's not even lit close to the candle of a black woman in America or a Latino or Native American woman in America. Go ahead.
For my yoke is easy.
For my what?
For my yoke is easy.
For my yoke is easy. You know why? Because America's yoke isn't easy. America's yoke is hard. You understand? But the yoke of Christ is easy. Christ is going to give you a purpose. You understand? As blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, we no longer have a purpose. That's why slavery is so hard. You understand? That's why working for America is so hard. Because our oppressor never gave us a purpose but to only work for him, to only work for her. Well, guess what? Christ wants to give you a purpose to work for him. You understand? Christ wants to give you a purpose to build his nation and his kingdom and his people. So every day you wake up, think about this when you go to this slavery. Every time you wake up, and if you are the police officer, if you're the lawyer as a black man, if you're the RN, if you're the CNA, the medical assistant, if you're the plumber, if you're the electrician, the HVAC technician as a black, Latino, and Native American man, when you wake up to that slavery, we in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, under Commander General Hana, who is under Yahweh Shai Mashiach, Jesus Christ, we are going to give you a purpose to work for. You understand? And it's going to be back here. Go ahead.
And my burden is light.
Right.
And my burden is light.
And my what?
And my burden is light.
And my burden is light. You understand? And my burden is light. That burden isn't like America's burden. You understand? Christ's burden is unlike America's burden. Because Christ is going to give you a purpose and give you a reason to be strong, a reason to wake up in the morning and make that paper and bring it back to your people like other nations and races of people do. The Chinese have a purpose. They live in America. They're oppressed by America. The Koreans, you understand? They are under America, but they work and they bring their money back to their people because they don't care about America. They don't care, you understand? They don't care about any of that. So we're going to give you a purpose in America. You understand? And Christ is going to give you a purpose in America. And by doing so, you have to come into this truth in the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge and learn these laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand?
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're one